Hi guys, Tom Swarbrick is normally a good reporter and host on his show. He generally has very good takes on politics, but my God, is he jumping on what seems to be this "what is a worker" bandwagon. Let me be clear, whoever is responsible at Labour Communications needs to be fired. But I don't think it requires Einstein-level intelligence to understand that national insurance will rise on those who pay it as part of their work. This obviously excludes people like landlords or those who earn income from shares. So why is this so difficult to understand?
They've had a while to figure this out, Having promised in the election to protect workers from tax rises, the Prime Minister is struggling to work out who or what he meant in making that pledge. Now, people have been saying today that this is basically a row over semantics, that it doesn't actually matter a great deal. Personally, I disagree. This is not a semantic row by journalists looking for a quick win. The same people, frankly, who were eye-rolling at or are now eye-rolling at the "what is a worker" question were the same people who are eye-rolling at "what is a woman" question, a question that carried enormous implications for people's lives and which Labour struggled massively to answer because they didn't really know what they thought. The same is true of the "what is a worker" question. So just so we're on the same page about this is a trust issue now. They promised workers would be protected, but either had no clue what they were talking about or deliberately knew they were going to have to obfuscate on an answer, because it is a ludicrous thing to try and suggest that people who owned shares don't also work. And yet that is exactly what the Prime Minister did last night, and it is honestly bewildering.
It's not bewildering. Take a step back and think about it for a moment. This is what's so frustrating about people like Tom. Tom is not stupid. Tom is an intelligent individual. Like many journalists, they understand that you don't pay national insurance on the income you derive from shares. Landlords do not pay national insurance on the profit from the rental income. Why is this so difficult to understand? So, Labour had said before the general election that they would not increase national insurance on working people. Now, who pays national insurance? Do you pay national insurance on a profit from shares? No. So obviously, it doesn't apply to you there. Do landlords pay national insurance on the profit from the rental income? No. So it doesn't apply to them either. So when they talk about working people, obviously it's people who are working. Now, do you work when you make a profit on those shares? Generally not. Do landlords work? Well, sometimes they may have to call up plumbers or electricians, or they have to do paperwork, but they're not paying national insurance. The core issue here is national insurance. So when Tom says this is not semantics, this is not the media jumping on something, it's exactly that. Journalists and people like Tom understand what they're doing here. They understand that this is about taking potshots at the new government. The communications are, as I said at the beginning, is terrible from the new government, and that needs to be fixed. Because they shouldn't be having arguments over what is a worker. It should be very clear. And I've said it before, if you pay national insurance, you're a worker. If you're deriving, what they do here as well is, people who earn money from shares are not working. Well, not in that context. If you're working and you're paying national insurance and you're putting money aside and you're investing and you make a bit of cash on the side, that's irrelevant. You're not paying national insurance on that. So that's not considered working person. Does it require some type of work? Yes, buying the shares or, monitoring it or whatever. But that's separate. Why is this so difficult to understand? Now, they're missing the bigger picture here. And this is a legitimate question. Will this impact the economy? Because if you're increasing national insurance on employers, are they going to pass on increases in wages? This is a legitimate question. We don't know. We'll have to see. Is this going to drive up prices? Because some of them may pass on this extra cost to the consumer. So these are the questions that journalists should be asking instead of this ridiculous "what is a worker" question. They keep missing the important picture. They seem to prefer to talk about trivials instead of something that's fundamental and something that's actually important. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.